I try really hard not to do same-day delivery reviews, no matter how great I think the product is, because you can never tell on that first day what might go wrong later. However, I am actually confident and happy enough with this one to go for it. If I make amendments later, they won't likely be anything that changes this rating. Updated 6 and 19/20 1 week. Using it for work in web design and content creation. Still love it. I needed a business appropriate laptop. My requirements for this were pretty simple. Something with a sharp but conservative appearance. Mobile, not heavy or bulky, but also just as powerful or capable of being just as powerful as my much larger personal laptop. It came down to this and the Lenovo Flex. I chose this because the design was all metal, and I like MacBook Airs when working as an Apple systems manager for their durability, style, and mobility. It's just a shame the RAM is not upgradable. It's soldered. The RAM on the Lenovo Flex is not upgradable either, though it also comes with a weaker processor, Ryzen 5, which is quite on the i7's level. I doubt anyone will need more than 8 to 16 gigabytes of RAM in the lifetimes of these laptops. I knew that if I got a Ryzen 5, that would just make me want the Ryzen 7 processor more. You can never upgrade processors in a laptop, so despite toting less RAM, Swift still came out as the winner both in design and performance. When I compared it up close to the Flex online, I worried a bit when I read a review that complained about the screen and graphics on Swift being almost unusable, but I clearly had nothing to worry about. Those professional reviewers sometimes can get so snobby with hardware. They set the bar higher than anyone in the real world would ever set it. The screen is semi-matte. I have very sensitive eyes, sensitive enough that I often have to wear blue light blocking glasses to deal with sunlight, bright indoor lights, or computer light. Even the slightest flicker is noticeable to me in a very uncomfortable, painful kind of way that strains my eyes. There's the tiniest amount of flicker in this display. It is nothing like the reviews have been describing, which made me afraid I wouldn't be able to use this laptop. It's very easy on my eyes after switching the Radeon settings to enhanced and high res, which simultaneously smooths and sharpens up the text, making it more legible. It also does not have a glossy, highly reflective screen. The screen is semi-matte at the worst. Honestly, it's not even that much, and it's full matte once it's turned on. Evidently Acer has switched displays after the complaints. They tend to be good about doing things like that. It gets super bright, and the colors are close to true as far as I can tell. Only publishing something is going to reveal the truth there, which I haven't done yet. But again, I can't believe what a close call it is to a MacBook Air. The graphics performance. It's not a gaming laptop, though I'm sure it is good enough to play most games on medium and would be perfect for a student. It's definitely strong enough to perform smoothly for graphic artists, photographers, and anyone that tends to keep a ton of tabs open in their browser. Smooth scrolling and rendering, no lag or glitching. I cannot compliment the Ryzen 7 processor enough. I am moving from an 8th general i7, and the Ryzen 7 is way more responsive and less prone to freezing or errors. I can very easily believe it makes use out at 4 GHz. Those 8 cores handle multitasking like a true champ. I was worried the RAM would give me some issues with work because it's only 8 GB and it's also underpowered to help boost battery performance. So far, I've been surprised to find that this low-powered RAM actually keeps up with me despite my issues with never exiting or closing windows. Lol, the keyboard is extremely comfortable if you have small to medium-sized hands. There is some time to adjust to the smaller form factor. Large-handed people will immediately hate the keyboard because it's compact. This being said, it is a large keyboard as far as compact keyboards go, and it is 100% identical to the keyboard on the MacBook Air. Same feel and everything. Backlit keys, which you can switch on or off. Something super cool is that Acer figured out how to include an unlock and number keypad on it by marking some of the letter keys with numbers, then adding an unlock. Check my pictures. If you turn on the manual equalizer in the audio settings and crank it up, the speakers actually get really loud, and they nice that way too. No rattle, no stress on the drivers. By default though, I can easily see tons of folks complaining about the speakers not getting loud. They don't get loud at all by default, with the equalizer maxed out. I would compare them to a mini Bluetooth speaker. In short, don't buy this for audio unless you are planning on connecting it to different speakers. For normal casual usage, like watching YouTube videos or streaming movies, the built-in speakers should be just fine. The lid is very well hinged. The screen is reinforced as well. Dropping it may cause some cosmetic damage, but it should hold up in most cases. At the worst, you'll be looking at a little cosmetic damage, scratches, dings, and a busted screen, which is better than what you could face with the typical plastic body. I once dropped a plastic body laptop off the back of my car. I was an idiot and left it on the hood. It totally destroyed the body. The laptop still worked, but there was bare PCB board everywhere. It was ugly. Lol. Now, there are complaints about battery life on this, but I haven't had any problems. I also didn't go with default settings in some key areas, though. I changed the Radeon settings to focus more on battery life than performance. Then I changed the power settings to best battery life. Now, I don't consider this to be much, especially with my huge collection of background apps, but considering complaints saying the battery wouldn't last more than an hour, I'm not seeing it. I've been on battery for an hour now, and have 12H46m remaining after charging to 98%. I'm guessing the expected battery life will hang somewhere between 4-5H and 6H on medium overall. It's a great machine and an awesome value in my book. I have no idea why the pro reviewers thought so poorly of it, though they did give it respect as a budget laptop. Maybe they were comparing it to more expensive laptops instead of comparing it to other models in this price range, or maybe the older version of this was really that bad. Whatever, I'm sticking with this because it works. Update 2 months later, it's still running like the day I got it. I'm actually shocked that it continues to perform so well on 8GB of energy saving RAM. I am guessing the difference lies in the combo of using a better processor and using a solid state drive. My other laptop has an A12, which is quad core and goes up to 3 GHz. This Ryzen 7 is octa-core and goes up to 4 GHz. The Care Center app has a function in it to make the battery only change to 80% when it's plugged in, saves the battery cells from being burned out. So despite using it plugged in all the time, I have not lost any battery health. It still goes for 6 hours or more off battery. Choosing a laptop is very dependent on what you want to use it for. This Acer Swift 3W/Ryzen 4700U is near perfect for what I use it for, and I think 90% of people will think the same thing about it. I've had it for about 4 months now. My use: Chrome online e-learning assignments, YouTube, Google Calendar, Gmail, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Teams, reading textbooks with PDF viewer, Spotify on in the background. Some things I love: boot time. NVMe storage is no joke. Power button to lock screen in less than 8 seconds. Most of this time is firmware. Windows 10 seriously loads up within 2 seconds. This alone adds a ton of convenience. Weight portability. I'm a college student. I skateboard around campus with this in my bag. It's light and thin but not flimsy. I wouldn't want it any bigger or any smaller specs. This machine is great for light gaming. I hardly use it for gaming because I'd rather play on my desktop with 144Hz, but I tested out Call of Duty War Zombies and had a comfortable 60 to 90 FPS with most settings on. That alone is pretty unheard of for most apps. If you want to play Minecraft or some older Steam games on this machine, go for it. It can definitely handle it. For my actual use though, things load up incredibly quickly and feel responsive, which is important if you are using this everyday. Battery life is not astonishing, but pretty good. Charger is easy enough to carry around if you are going to use it for more than 5Hrs. I wish were better. Charging connector is tiny/thin and it feels really flimsy connecting and disconnecting. I've had no issues yet, but I feel a little uncomfortable with it. Speakers are quiet. I like to watch some YouTube or Netflix in bed at the end of the day, and with my fan on in the room, the speakers are not audible at max volume. I recommend using some headphones or a Bluetooth speaker in the room. I was watched a video urging me not to buy this laptop. Before I did, the user begged me to buy these other models that were more expensive with weaker specs because I was going to hate the screen of this one. He was wrong. I included an image of me using this while studying in a bright room with lots of natural light. It was just fine. As long as you are not going to be using this in direct sunlight, you will be fine too. If you are using this for professional art purposes and need super accurate colors, then maybe this isn't a great option. But if you are most people, you will very rarely have an issue with the screen being too dim after tax. This was for me. It's a significant purchase and I'm extremely happy with it. I was worried about making the wrong choice, but this was definitely the right one.
I'm in love with this laptop. It is the perfect size. I'm going to be a college student here soon and it's perfect. It is very fast. It works with all those tabs open, 48 to be exact, and was still doing great. The setup was really fast and easy. The screen quality and brightness in my opinion is perfectly fine. The fingerprint scanner works amazingly, better than my own phone. I didn't plan to use it for gaming, but it works with this game Wolf Quest, which is a really huge and detailed game developed by Yellowstone National Park, and it loads and runs it perfectly. I was scared to buy this laptop and it's only my second day with it, but I'm so happy with my purchase, knock on wood. I'll update.
This is quite a problem for me as I am a teacher and I work far from home. I purchased this laptop over the summer from Amazon to use if we went remote due to COVID. We are looking at doing this soon. I tried to test out the webcam with a Google Meet and a Zoom. After multiple error messages and checking the driver, device manager, looking online for drivers, I looked more closely and realized that there is actually no webcam in the hole. To get a webcam, I now would have to mail the computer back to the States, have someone there mail it to Acer, wait for an installation of the webcam, and wait for its return. I will have to make do with an external webcam as I really have no other choice. I thought Acer sold quality products.
So, I bought this Acer Swift after about a year of using a Chromebook, so I might be a little more enthusiastic about its features than most people. I hated Chrome OS. I'm so glad I came back to Windows. I can finally download stuff again. It's really fast. Like really fast. It doesn't matter how many tabs I have open, it just keeps pushing. The only time my fan ever turned on was during a few hours of gameplay. I don't game much, but I was playing Outlast on this thing and never once did it lag. The graphics looked great. I just love this laptop. I thought the 14 inches would be too small for me, as I'm used to 17-inch laptops, but it's fine. I don't really notice it. I use it all the time. It's like my best friend during quarantine. The only thing I have qualms with is the screen, although I'm pretty sure everyone who got this got it knowing full well about the display issues. I don't know why it's so crap, but if I compare the screen to my Chromebooks, they are vastly different. The colors on this screen are oversaturated and have a bit of a greenish tint. I just introduced myself to digital art, and while I'm not drawing anything egg-worthy yet, I can see myself having issues with color accuracy later on. Also, I mostly use this laptop indoors, but I went outside with it a few times, and I can hardly see anything on the screen. Just make sure to keep it turned away from any windows.
This laptop is great. It came in the mail about 10 days ago, but I've only started using it in the past 3 days for school. I'm an English major, so I don't know how it would do for more intense coding, gaming, etc. I've mostly been using Zoom, BBCOLLABORATA, and D2L Brightspace for classes with multiple tabs open, as well as 1 or 2 Word docs all at once, and I've had zero problems with speed. There was one time when I left it open for a while and it acted like it wasn't going to wake up, but after a moment it did with no more problems. So far it does everything I need it to do. The camera, mic, and speakers are great. It's super light and thin and pretty small, so it will be great for carrying around to class when classes open back up. I have only one complaint: the charger plug doesn't fit nicely into the computer. I have to push it in harder than I would like to get it to charge, and I always worry that it's going to break. However, the battery life is so great that I've only had to charge it once in the past 3 days. I'll update later when I've spent more time with it.
For right now it's only been 2 days and I do not wish to jinx it, but so far is great. I love this laptop. It weighs next to nothing and it's so pretty. I want to hug it so much. Downloaded World of Warcraft and right now is running between 75 to 65 FPS, which is amazing for this small laptop. Downloaded Hearthstone and hubby says the graphics amazing for such a small laptop. It seems powerful enough for running Discord and Spotify browser. I did go with Chrome because I don't like Edge, but like I said, it's been only 2 days, so I will update as needed. So far are pros. Great price, lightweight, great graphics and connectivity icons. Could have been more RAM but hey, not complaining.